Back with Cran's group, they stopped near a town. Nal prepared coffee for everyone. When Cran tasted it, he was genuinely impressed. Nal asked about Gark, since he had vanished suddenly. Cran explained that after gathering information on wizards and magic, Gark had gone to report back to Zathie. Even if they met again, Cran was confident Gark wouldn't attack them. Alicia soon returned from questioning townsfolk. Haiden's situation was far worse than expected. After the king's death, the Barrett Kingdom had launched an invasion. Aslan tried to stop them, but failed. Kron didn't understand why Aslan would protect Haiden. Alicia explained, Aslan and Borat had been rivals for years. Aslan lagged behind in magical technology and didn't want Borat to gain access to Haiden's royal weapon forge. Haiden had no wizards capable of operating it, because the king had banned magic entirely. Nal then offered Alicia coffee as well. She loved it. Coffee was extremely rare in this world. Later, Nal went to feed Luna. Alicia praised her warmly. Hearing that, Kron misunderstood and immediately warned Alicia not to do anything inappropriate. She exploded. She yelled that she wasn't thinking anything like that and told him to focus on the real issue. Even if Borat captured the forge, without royal blood they couldn't use it properly. But if this continued, Haiden would be completely destroyed. Kron shrugged. So what? I just need Luna to become king. Alicia snapped back. If Borat took control, Luna would never sit on the throne. Haiden's royal blood was incredibly rare. People would recognize it instantly. Pure Haiden blood held the secret to refining Arcanite effectively. That was why Dragon Slayer Drell had been put in charge. And he would do absolutely anything to get Luna. Drell and Alicia's father once shared a long history. They were close, almost like comrades. Even after retiring, Alicia's father was still widely respected as the finest swordsman the world had ever known. Then, without warning, Drell showed up at his doorstep. He killed him. Not out of hatred, not out of revenge. He did it to prove a point, to declare himself the greatest swordsman alive. But Drell wasn't finished. After the murder, he set their home on fire and walked away. Watching her world burn, Alicia was overwhelmed by rage. She reached for her father's sword, ready to fight. But with his final strength, her father stopped her. He knew that if she raised that blade, Drell would kill her without a second thought. As he took his last breath, he gave her one final request. He told her not to chase vengeance. Instead, he wanted her to become the kind of hero who saves lives, not one who destroys them. Later, Alicia turned to Kron and told him the truth. If he really wanted his plan to succeed, then saving Haiden was unavoidable. Kron agreed. Alicia wanted to go with him, but Kron refused. If people discovered that a human was working alongside a beast, the entire plan could collapse. And if wizards truly were kidnapping beast children, Kron needed to observe from the shadows. Only then could he understand how powerful the wizards really were. I know you want revenge for your father, Kron said, but this isn't your fight, and you promised him you wouldn't seek revenge. My father believed fighting Drell could ignite a war, Alicia replied. And a true hero would never do that. She paused. But I stopped being a hero a long time ago. I'm nothing more than a walking corpse surviving on dark blood. That's why I can take revenge. Kron challenged her. You say you've abandoned the idea of being a hero. Then tell me, what does a hero really mean to you? You might not see yourself as one, he continued, but I know you're a hero to Nal. Because of you, her life changed for the better. Alicia finally understood. He was right. She agreed to stay behind. With that settled, Kron transformed and headed straight toward Boret's advancing army. Meanwhile, Boret's forces had already destroyed another fortress belonging to Haiden. Aslan's soldiers continued their pursuit, while behind them followed the man who had entered the Haiden kingdom in search of Luna. Elsewhere, Alicia and Nal arrived in a town consumed by chaos. A furious crowd had surrounded a bandit and beaten him to death. He was one of Bracco's allies. Nal, still traumatized by bandits, froze in fear. Alicia quickly pulled her away before she could see any more. The townspeople had gone even further. Every bandit they found had been publicly executed. But fear was spreading. First came Celevetus' attack, then Boret's army, and now a giant octopus monster. The people realized no one was coming to save them, so they made a vow. From now on, they would defend their town themselves, no matter the cost. Alicia rushes upstairs, but May intercepts her using his He explains that if someone has magical talent, drinking it will change their eye color. But if they don't have magic potential, the potion can kill them. Ignoring Nal's screams, May forces the medicine toward Luna, Hearing Nal's voice, Alicia rushes upstairs, but May intercepts her using his insects. He's surprised to see a female swordsman protecting the Haiden child, but it doesn't matter to him. He intends to kill her regardless. Back in the room, Luna still hasn't swallowed the potion. Nal struggles with everything she has to break free. Ni mocks her, saying resistance is pointless. With her power, she can stop even charging bulls, and the bed frame pinning Nal would take more strength than 2 bulls to move. That's when Nal snaps. Fueled by pure rage, she shoves the bed frame with everything she has. It flies straight out of the house. At the same time, Alicia dodges May's attack and kicks the insect monster out of the air. Seeing this, May finally understands who Alicia really is. When Alicia reaches the room, May has already been defeated. Somehow, Nal has even managed to throw 2 entire bed frames outside. Alicia quickly tells her the truth. Everyone is after Luna. Until Cran returns, they have to survive on their own. Suddenly, swarms of insects block every escape route. Alicia tells Nal to trust her and jump. They leap together in mid-air. Alicia slashes through the insects, clearing a path. Ni regains consciousness and hurls an axe at them, but it strikes the insects instead. Surrounded by so many bugs, Ni realizes her metal control is useless here. She decides she'll need to report this to May. She's also still stunned by one thing, how Nal managed to throw the bed so far. Outside, Alicia and Nal notice something strange. The insects stopped following them. That means the bugs were ordered only to surround the inn. Believing the forest might be safer, they head toward it, only to find even more insects waiting there. Alicia can't repeatedly use her technique. She won't last if she keeps fighting non-stop. So together they search for a place the insects can't enter. Meanwhile, Nay reports to May. She admits the targets escaped and the potion test failed. They underestimated them. She then reveals something crucial. The blonde woman is a hero. She recognizes her from the day General Drell fought her father. Ni was there. Why would a hero travel with an ordinary child? That confirms it. They found the right child. And now, testing is no longer necessary. The thought of capturing and torturing them excites May. He gathers all the townspeople in one place. The citizens protest. They mock him, saying bugs won't scare them. They're armed and ready to fight. They demand to know why Borat's army is even here. May responds calmly. He claims they didn't invade. They came to protect the country from the Dark Beast King. The beast has already attacked once. If it strikes again, the town won't survive. The people argue back. He's the one who brought the insects, and they even killed one of his men. May brushes it off as an accident. He says they're searching for criminals, one of them being a female hero, one of the 13 responsible for Haiden's downfall. He asks the townspeople to cooperate and help capture Alicia. Elsewhere, Borat's army crosses a river. Drell realizes Aslan's forces are already waiting and orders them to come out. That's when Aslan's commander, Rude, launches a surprise attack, freezing the entire river solid. The soldiers' legs are locked in ice, and despite being heavily outnumbered, Aslan's army gains the advantage. Drell recognizes Rude immediately. He's a descendant of the hero Royce. The weapon in his hands is Frostflower, the same blade that once wiped out an entire Dark Beast army. Drell points out the flaw. Rude hasn't fully mastered its power. That's why he placed wizards around the battlefield to lower the temperature before freezing the river. Rude attacks, but Drell blocks it effortlessly. Rude counters by freezing Drell's horse solid, forcing Drell to dismount. Their clash is evenly matched, until Drell activates his sword's true power. A massive dragon claw manifests, slashing Rude and knocking him down. Seeing their commander fall, Aslan's army rushes forward. Drell attacks indiscriminately, blowing away both enemy troops and his own. He declares that those who can't break the chains of this world don't deserve to move beyond it. Rude is confused. What chains? Drell explains. His goal is to destroy the legends of heroes. Those legends force people to fight impossible battles, and he intends to erase that cycle. Drell spares Rude's life, acknowledging him as a worthy opponent, and marches on. Then Clevetus appears, the South Beast. Lord's presence alone terrifies everyone. Clevetus recognizes Drell instantly and questions the origin of his magic. Someone has been kidnapping both human and Dark Beast children, and that magic is connected to it. Drell mocks him, saying he expected more from the Lord of Beasts. Clevetus replies coldly, anyone who trespasses in his territory must be punished. That is the law of this world. Drell asks who gave him the right to decide that law. Celevetus has had enough. He lifts Drell into the air with his tail and activates a sealing spell he prepared long ago. Drell sacrifices his own body, turning it into blood that surrounds Celevetus, binding him completely. When everything settles, only Drell's sword remains, along with blood sealing Celevetus in place. But Drell isn't dead. Before casting the spell, he transferred his consciousness into the sword. He no longer has a human body. His existence is now sustained by sword magic itself. Confident that even a Dark Beast Lord can't escape this spell, Drell leaves with his army. Meanwhile, Alicia and Nal desperately search for a place to hide. Alicia senses something is wrong. And then we see it, every single townsperson is out searching for them. People who've lived there their entire lives, now hunting them down. It doesn't take long for the crowd to turn hostile. They start blaming the heroes for all the destruction, saying the heroes never really did anything useful. All they ever did was waste tax money and live comfortably. But Nell says she trusts Alicia, because Alicia is the reason she's still standing there alive. Even after being called out repeatedly, Alicia and Nell refuse to come outside. That's when one man decides to burn the house down along with them. At the last moment, Pitt arrives and stops him. This place was built by our ancestors. How could you even think about burning it? He questions why they should blindly believe outsiders. Standing near the house, he introduces himself. He is the one in charge of the town's defense. He promises that if Alicia comes out peacefully, no one will harm her. He just wants to ask a few questions. Alicia steps outside. Gark notices that her regalia is missing. Did you sell it for money? Alicia tells him that isn't true. She lost her regalia during the battle with Celevetus. Hearing this, Gark realizes the heroes must have been completely defeated. If you had sold your sword to come here, I would have killed you myself, but you came back after losing. Then he asks her a serious question. Should they keep sending heroes every day to defeat dark beasts in order to expand the world? Or should they stay where they are and live quietly? Alicia remembers the day she fought Celevetus, how he threw her into the air. In that moment, she saw the world beyond the dark beast barrier, a world that was round, endless, with no visible boundary. That's why she believes they must keep trying to learn about the outside world, otherwise they'll never know what lies beyond. She admits she learned this way of thinking from someone who treated her terribly. But if she had never met him, her view of the world would never have changed. Now that she knows how vast the world truly is, she wants to know more. After hearing this, Mark tells her she is free to go. But just as he's leaving with the villagers, Menard suddenly appears, riding a centipede, and attacks Mark. Seeing this, Alicia shatters the centipede into pieces. Menard escapes and summons even more insects. Alicia tells the villagers to go inside and stay hidden. She stays behind to fight alone. To Menard, all of this is nothing more than entertainment. Among the insects are small poisonous bugs. While Alicia focuses on fighting the larger ones, she doesn't notice them. One of them is a spider whose venom can destroy her blood. Alicia panics. She's only alive because of the blood Celevetus gave her. Menard once admired heroes, but as a child his entire family died in a fire. The heroes did nothing. Since then he has hated them. The poison makes Alicia's body tremble, but the bugs keep coming. She continues fighting. Suddenly she sees Celevetus' head, telling her to finish this quickly. He needs her help. Meanwhile, some of the smaller bugs crawl through cracks toward the villagers. The villagers crush them under their feet and block the cracks with whatever they can find. Then, Menard summons a massive scorpion and attacks Alicia, throwing her into the water. Celevetus realizes the poison is affecting her blood. It won't destroy her magical blood, but it has stopped her healing. She is no longer immortal. All across the forest, larvae are everywhere, devouring wood. The villagers watch in horror as their roofs start getting eaten. Elsewhere, Nell is with a group of townspeople. Someone asks why she didn't follow Menard and the hero. Nell replies that whenever that man fights, he destroys everything around him, and she doesn't want to die young. Menard explains that these larvae are born only once every century. They change the entire ecosystem. He's controlling them with magic. Since the people depend on wood, once the forest is gone, they won't survive either. Hearing this, Alicia emerges from the water. She sees many larvae sealed inside cocoons. Within seconds, hundreds of monsters burst out and charge straight at her. She fights back, but a strange dust from their wings makes it hard for her to see. Menard takes advantage of the moment and attacks her again with a scorpion. She tries to escape, but insects swarm all over her. There's no way out. Crane knows that if he doesn't help her now, she will die. He pulls out Stream Splitter from his shadow. Menard notices the sword. It looks just like a regalia. Crane tells Alicia to see the insects like flowing water and destroy them all in a single strike. With one swing of her sword, Alicia wipes out every insect. Even the people watching from the town can see it. Nell can't believe there's someone capable of killing all of Menard's insects in one blow. As the insects die, Menard's magic gemstone begins to crack. He can no longer use his magic. Alicia strikes him on the head and knocks him unconscious. Exhausted from the battle, Alicia collapses. When Nell reaches her, she sees that Crane is already there, but it's only his clone. Alicia asks if at least Dahl has been defeated. He's the root of all their problems. Crane explains that Dahl possesses the power of a Dark Beast Lord, and defeating him won't be easy. The scene shifts to the Hayden Kingdom. 80% of the survivors have been moved into safe bunkers. But Luna's mother is still there. She refuses to leave until she finds her son. An old woman asks how she knows her son is still alive. She answers that the Force is still active, meaning its user is alive. She wanted to leave earlier, knowing the heroes would never defeat the Dark Beasts. Fabio arrives and reports that Dahl had an army of 500, while Aslan's army had only 6,000, and they couldn't withstand him. After Aslan's defeat, Celevetus appeared and wiped out half of Dahl's army. In the end, Dahl trapped Celevetus inside a sphere. Now Dahl is approaching with what remains of his forces. No one has ever defeated a Dark Beast Lord before. Dahl can't understand how Drell managed it. Fabio believes Drell is an ancient hero, wielding a weapon created by Hayden. Dahl says Drell doesn't deserve to be called a hero. She wants to destroy his weapon using the Hammer of Kings, the same tool used to create and destroy regalia. Meanwhile, Dahl's army is closing in on Hayden. Back in town, the villagers' view of the heroes has completely changed. Once again, they respect them. Alicia asks Nell which Dark Beast Dahl is allied with, but Nell knows nothing and thinks Alicia is imagining things. Crane, however, is certain. Only a Dark Beast Lord can control dark blood. To me, Dahl is like a mosquito, but if a Dark Beast Lord is backing him, things will get complicated. Still, if a Dark Beast Lord is truly coming after me, he'll pay the price. Alicia asks why Crane left his real body behind. Crane explains he didn't leave it behind. There's something hidden within his shadow. If everyone believes he's been defeated, he can move freely without suspicion. Before killing Dahl, he wants to know who's truly pulling the strings. Nell suddenly stands up and says they only want to use Hayden's army. That's why they needed the prince. She activates magic through her gauntlet and disappears. Elsewhere, two brothers are transporting Luna and Nell in a carriage. The wheels contain iron. Nell kills both brothers and takes control of the carriage. Suddenly, Crane appears inside. "Driver, take us to Drell." It's revealed that this was all part of their plan. The carriage was designed specifically so Nell could control it. Alicia warns her sword isn't made of iron. If Nell tries anything, she won't hesitate to kill her. As they leave, the townspeople thank them for saving their life. Seeing this, Crane teases her and asks if it feels good doing a little bit of hero work. Alicia snaps at him, shouting that she really did act like a hero this time. Crane replies that everything is fine, but reminds her that he helped too. Nell says Alicia is exactly the kind of hero she used to read about in stories. She still can't believe Luna is a prince, which makes her feel like she shouldn't even touch him, since she's just a normal person. Crane tells her that strength isn't decided by where you're born. She's already much stronger than before. And if Luna's mother treats her like a servant, she should just kill her. Alicia tells him he's insane. They can't just kill a princess like that. She asks if he really thinks acting like this will make Mimamers on Intamiyal when advisor. Crane confidently replies yes. What's the big deal? Crane then tells Alicia that she'll have to fight Drell alone, because he doesn't want to expose himself in front of others. Alicia agrees, since she also wants revenge for the past. Soon they arrive at the city, where the attack has already begun. Dahl is advancing toward the princess. Seeing this, Alicia turns the carriage toward Drell. Meanwhile, the princess stands ready with her army to fight him. Tala reminds her soldiers that their weapons are nearly as powerful as her regalia, meaning they can fight Drell. The army surrounds him from all sides, but to Drell, they attack from behind, firing arrows at him. He dodges them all and transforms himself into a sword. No one understands what's happening. Shield holders rush forward to protect the princess, but they're no match for him. With a single swing, he clears them away and lifts the princess by the neck. "You've worked hard, but you can never become king." Tala already knows she can't become king because she doesn't possess royal blood. Only someone with the strongest royal bloodline can become king, and after the direct line ends, a relative may rule, but Drell won't allow that. Tala knows that one strike from the hammer could damage his weapon, but someone needs to distract him. That's when Alicia appears. Seeing this, Tala is confused, but she knows this is her best chance. She strikes Drell's weapon with her hammer. At the same moment, Drell and Alicia's weapons collide. The princess can't tell whether her hammer actually hit his weapon or not. From afar, Nell and Crane watch the battle. Nell starts worrying about Alicia, but Crane says it doesn't matter whether she wins or loses. Drell, and whoever is backing him, is after Hayden's forge. Crane wants to reach it before they do. That's why he brought Luna with him. He already knows where the forge is and heads straight there. He could easily break through the wall, but to hide his identity, he asks Nell to push the stone instead. Nell doesn't think she can do it. Crane explains that when he healed her, he placed a fragment of Drell's power into her tiny hands. That means she's even stronger than the strongest Drell. Nell gently pushes the wall, but her strength is overwhelming. The stone goes flying straight into the army guarding the force, wiping them all out instantly. Nell panics, saying it suddenly felt like her kill count jumped by 10 zeros. Crane casually tells her it's just her imagination. He then pulls all the soldiers into his shadow. After that, Crane places Luna's hand on the sealed mark in front of the forge. Elsewhere, Gark arrives where Celevetus' body is trapped. He can't understand why the sphere won't come out, even after kicking it, but it doesn't move an inch. That's when Rot appears. He asks if Gark can fly using magic, and if he can take him to Hayden. Drell must have already arrived. Gark asks why he wants to fight Drell again after being beaten earlier. Rot replies that he can't allow Hayden's forge to fall into Drell's hands. If Drell gets it, he could use magic to change the entire world. Hearing this, Gark remembers what Xverier once told him, that something terrible would happen because of magic. Gark decides to use a human to help with his investigation, just like Crane did. But he sets one condition. If Rot interferes in any of his work, he'll kill him. Rot agrees. Gark pretends to chant magic and transforms his hands into wings. Rot believes he's flying using magic. Back at the forge, even after placing Luna's hand on the seal, the door doesn't open. Crane is confused and assumes they can't enter from there. He decides to check from above, but intense heat pours out of the furnace, enough to turn any normal beast into ash. Celevetus, however, is a beast lord. He could sit in fire and fry snacks if he wanted to. He jumps straight down. Outside, an unfamiliar man appears in front of Nell. When she realizes who he is, she freezes in fear. We then see Crane, who realized midway that he couldn't survive that much heat. He hid inside the shadow of a brick he had dropped along the way. He's stunned by the forge's power. Even unused, it radiates incredible heat. He wants to inspect it from inside, but he knows that once he enters, he won't be able to come back. Suddenly, Crane notices the door is open, and Nell is lying unconscious. From the corner of the room, Hayden's king appears, holding his own head in his hands. Meanwhile, Alicia is still fighting Drell. But Drell has the upper hand. He tells her she's still not as strong as her father. Dahl knocks her back with an attack and starts heading toward the army again. Alicia is sent flying into Drell's soldiers. She doesn't waste time fighting them. The moment she sees Drell, she charges straight at him. Drell returns to the same wall, where the Queen's soldiers attack him with arrows. They can't harm him, but it gives Alicia an opening. She attacks with Rising Sword Slash, but Drell blocks it easily. He's the one who invented that technique. He unleashes a flurry of slashes at Alicia, but he's shocked to see that her arms and legs are still attached. You really are impressive, just as a swordmaster's daughter should be. Ow. Alicia tells him to shut up and demands to know why he killed her father. Drell explains that he and her father trained at the same sword school. When the time came to become heroes, they became rivals. It seems Alicia knows nothing about this. So Drell decides to explain why he was called the Dragon Slayer, and why her father abandoned the path of the hero. 25 years ago, Drell and Margot faced each other in a tournament. The winner would receive the very first regalia forged by the king. Even back then, they were close friends. They fought with everything they had. Margot won the match. Drell was heartbroken that he wouldn't become a hero, but he still congratulated Margot. After winning the tournament, Margot received the title of Swordmaster along with the regalia. When this sword is placed in your hand, you will become a hero. You must protect this kingdom and fight the dark beasts. Are you prepared? Margot accepted. When he drew the sword, he could feel its power, but the king told him the regalia was still incomplete and that he would have to complete it himself. Margot didn't understand what the king meant.